tiny cut used to be a countdown. No hospital, no antibiotics, no clean sink. Just dirt, blood, pain, and a body fighting hard not to lose. Today, if you slice your hand, you rinse it, put on a bandage, complain for a few minutes, and move on. But for ancient humans, that same cut could become a real survival problem. Because the wound was not just the wound. The wound was the smell of blood. The wound was weakness. The wound was infection. The wound was falling behind while the group kept moving. And if that sounds dramatic, that is because nature was dramatic. One small mistake with a sharp stone could decide whether you survived the week. So the first rule was simple. Stop the bleeding. Not in a clean clinic. Not with a perfect white bandage. With hands. With pressure. With whatever soft material the group could find nearby. Animal hide. Plant fiber. Moss. Leaves. Anything that could press against the wound and give the body time to seal itself. Because blood loss is fast. Infection is slow. But both can win. And ancient humans had to fight both without even knowing the word germ. They did not need a microscope to notice patterns. They could see that dirty wounds got worse. They could see that some plants calmed swelling. They could see that sticky stuff from trees helped cover a cut. They could see that a wound left open in mud was bad news. And that is where early medicine probably began. Not as magic. Not as fancy science. As memory. Someone got hurt. Someone tried something. Someone lived. And the group remembered. But here is the part that matters most. The real medicine was not just the plant. It was the people. Imagine one hunter gets badly cut in the leg. He cannot walk fast. He cannot gather food. He cannot sleep well. Now he needs help. He needs time. He needs the group. And in a brutal world, you might think they would simply leave him behind. But that is not what humans became. Humans became the animal that carries the injured. The animal that shares food. The animal that watches over someone who cannot watch over themselves. And that changed everything. Because a wounded person alone is a meal. A wounded person inside a group is a patient. That one difference may have saved more lives than any spear. Ancient healing was messy. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes it failed. Sometimes a plant helped. Sometimes a plant made things worse. But over thousands of years, humans became very good at noticing tiny clues. This leaf cools pain. That bark tastes bitter but helps the stomach. This honey-like stuff keeps a wound covered. That smoke keeps bugs away. This person needs rest. That person needs food. This fever is passing. That fever is dangerous. Nobody wrote it down at first. The body was the notebook. Scars were the record. Older people were living libraries. And every healed wound was proof that the group knew something worth remembering. That is why the oldest healers were probably not people in white coats. They were grandparents, mothers, hunters with scars. Gatherers who knew which plants not to touch. People who had seen pain before and did not panic when it came back. And this is the big twist. Ancient humans did not survive wounds because they were tougher than us. They survived because they were not alone. Yes, toughness mattered. Pain tolerance mattered. Luck mattered a lot. But the real survival machine was the group. One person presses the wound. One person brings water. One person keeps the fire going. One person scares away insects. One person stays awake when the injured person finally sleeps. That is not modern medicine, but it is the seed of it. Because every hospital, every bandage, every emergency room, and every careful hand started with the same basic idea. Someone is hurt. Do not leave them. So the first medicine was not a pill. It was not a tool. It was a circle of people around one injured human, quietly deciding that this life was still worth saving.